Welcome, everybody. First of all, I was doing this a little bit earlier today, but I want to make sure that we recognize all of our veterans in any of the chats that we're in here. If you are a veteran, please let us know where you served, when you served, how you served. I want to know. I don't care if anybody else wants to know. I want to know because I fully appreciate it. It's unsung heroes on a day-to-day basis. Well, every day is your day, but today especially is your day. So again, excellent, cool, and I do appreciate some of the veterans coming out and actually letting us know, when and where they served. So it's cool. Uh, Excellent, awesome. So give everybody just a moment, as we get going. Uh, so I was talking about this morning. I'm of the I'm the right age. I had a lot of friends that went to Desert Storm. The perfect age for that. I was actually in high school, and people that had graduated just a few years ahead of me ended up obviously in Desert Storm. So a lot of friends that still really close with today served. All right, excellent. So I'm aging a couple people in here too. So I didn't ask like when earlier today, but now I'm definitely asking the when over here. Fantastic. So wow, 65 to 69. Holy crap. Excuse me, but that is a serious, like, how many tours is that? It's like that's like three tours, at least three tours. So wild. All right. Again, totally appreciate you guys kind of coming forth on that one. So, welcome everybody. My name is Don Kaufman, and we're going to get started here momentarily. A few informalities. One of them, you can ask questions. I'm reading chat in real time. That always comes up here. You can ask questions. Fine. Okay. I'll be introducing a guest here in just a moment. The other thing throughout the course of this is live. And everybody always asks that question as well. It's live just to show you, today it's Tuesday. Obviously, it's Veterans Day. Markets are actually hitting the upper edge of the expected move here inside of the SPX. If you are familiar with that, fantastic. If you're not, that's okay. Let's get started. Okay. What we're going to be discussing today. Yes, I will introduce the special guest. I like it. Okay. I like it. The signal before the story is what we're actually going to be introducing specifically today. All right, risk disclosure. Okay, it's mine. It's all mine. Risk disclosure is out there because several of us here at TheoTrade were heavily involved in the brokerage side of the business. I was also a registered investment advisor for a number of years, as was my guest today. So a lot of us have a lot of licenses over the years, and we dropped them all. We're no longer a broker dealer. If you ever need to get a hold of me today, I should say after today, support at theotrade.com. We use a common inbox here at TheoTrade, and we do that because it's just easier to kind of sort through emails, get them answered much quicker. But you go to support at theotrade.com. If ever you need to get a hold of me directly, just go put Don or Don Kaufman in the subject matter and go right directly to me. A few housekeeping items. Housekeeping. Okay, shut the door. Turn off your Telegram. There is no more Skype. There is no tomorrow. Okay, get rid of Facebook and Instagram and X and all the other crap. Phone's on silent mode. In fact, I'm even checking my own phone right now to make sure it's on silent mode. Kick out the kids. I like to think that the dog can stay. You took time to be here. Focus. We're actually going to go. This is a very highly detailed PowerPoint presentation today. All right. For those of you that do not know me, I'm going to give you just the literally the nickel tour about me. Again, my name is Don Kaufman. I'm a co-founder here of TheoTrade. People, again, very often talk about how they got involved in trading. And I don't have that great story of like how I got involved in trading. I literally grew up around it. And whenever it's, especially in like November, Thanksgiving, okay, as a kid, I remember Thanksgiving with extended family and everybody talking about trading. That's like, it's just what I grew up with. And I would go to Chicago when I was a kid and go to the Chicago Board Options Exchange. As I said, I kind of grew up in it. I didn't know what I wanted to do necessarily after college. 3 weeks out of school, I went to the Chicago Board Options Exchange kind of on a whim. 3 weeks after I was there, I ended up actually trading. I was invited. I knew a bunch of traders on the floor. Like the trading floor, on any given day I was down there, there might be, hundreds of people down there in a total, like just under 1,000 people on the floor of the Chicago Board Options Exchange. But you kind of knew everybody. And uh, I was riding the escalator out of the SIBO one day, and a long hair hippie guy came over to me on the escalator. That guy was Tom Sosnoff, and Tom said, "We're starting a brokerage firm. We know a little bit about you. Why don't you come work with us?" And I did. So in 2001, I had been trading about 2.5 years. In 2001, I actually went into the startup Thinkorswim, and I was officially, employee lucky number 13. Like literally, I was the 13th employee of Thinkorswim. In my tenure at Thinkorswim, I was on the executive team. Okay. At one point, I remember when we went from 13 people. At one point, we were like 700 and change, and then TD Ameritrade bought us. We were over 7,000. There was one point where I had 768 people in my organization. It's just wild, wild time. But yeah, I was there when we took the company public. I was there when the company was bought by TD Ameritrade. I had a 5-year lockup clause with TD Ameritrade. I exited in 2015, sat quiet for about a year. We built TheoTrade, launched it in 2016, and this is how we come to you. What you're going to learn extensively here at TheoTrade is literally what we learned at the brokerage side of the business and watching billions in retail client order flow. Basically, what I'm saying is I got to see everything that you did for the better part of about 15 years. So we're intimately familiar with the knowledge of what works specifically on the retail side. We're all retail traders here. Listen, today's an important day, and here's why. You've seen the market. It's been lighting up recently. AMD calls 389% return in 5 days. Tesla calls up 155% in 4 days. You've seen the market light up and HUT, 8 exploding on AI buzz. Okay. Everyone saw these stories. Like everybody saw these stories, but they saw them after they broke. Okay. But it doesn't exactly have to be that way. Okay. Each of the stories, okay, that are presenting here kind of started the same way with a signal that apparently nobody saw. Okay. And it's amazing too, because I think about this and I'm like, AMD stock continues to rally after the OpenAI deal. Because even myself, in what we're going to be presenting today is today for the first time ever. You're going to see it. Okay. And this is going to be the signal for the story, because all of these stories I just told you about, the AMD story, the HUD story, the Tesla story, okay, all of the stories, okay, here's what nobody tells you. Every one of the stories, AMD, Tesla, HUD, started the same way, okay, with a crystal clear yet silent alignment, a pattern, okay. One of our traders here at TheoTrade saw it before the crowd, before the chaos, before the story. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, some of you are actually in on these trades. The market didn't even know it was moving yet, but he did. Beneath every chart, okay, there's a momentum. Okay, you can't see when invisible forces click into place. That's what, like, when momentum ignites. And if you can spot it early, okay, everything changes. So the trader you're going to meet today, he's in those markets and hidden those hidden forces, okay, sync up before anybody else. Okay. By the time others notice it, he's already 3 candles ahead, which effectively means he's in the trades. Okay. He's not predicting, he's detecting. Okay. He's not guessing, he's confirming before the first headline ever hits that wire. Okay. That's how we caught AMD for a 389% return in 5 days. That's an options trade, a Tesla trade. Okay, 155% in 4 days. Okay, IonQ, 74% return in a month. And there's a lot more. Every one of them before the story broke. By the way, I want to make that clear. Every one of these is before the story broke. Okay. And a lot of you, again, a lot of you joining us were in these positions. So the question is, how do you see what the market hides? Okay. How do you find the momentum when the tides, waves, and the ripples of momentum all collide, perfectly aligned, and surge that stock skyward. Okay. That's what we're about to show you, a process to expose the invisible alignment behind every major move. Without this alignment, a stock, it can't surge. Okay. And it's as simple as that. For the first time, you're going to see the market's hidden blueprint. Okay. And you're not going to look at trading quite the same way again. So if you're tired of always being and feeling like the last to know, by the way, I was reading some of those headlines because I was laughing about it. As I read some of the headlines, I'm like, oh man, okay, he was in that trade. Oh, he was in that trade. Killing me smalls over here. But if you're tired of always being kind of, the last to know, okay, uh, people are having some tech issues right now. It's okay. All right. Tired of the last to know. Okay. What you're about to learn could make the rest of your 2025 and all of your 2026, okay, most successful trading that you've had yet, right? And this is one of the most important aspects that I can really just drive home today. What you're going to learn specifically today is going to make the rest of your 2025 and all of your 2026 your most successful trading yet. Each time he's going to start with the story, okay? He's going to show you the same move the headlines went crazy over. Then he's actually going to roll back, okay, the chart and show you what nobody else saw. So one of the coolest things you're going to see today is step by step, okay, from a silence of an underlying that isn't necessarily moving to the signal, okay, to the explosion. And I think this is really cool because, again, and I want to throw this out here. Everything that we're talking about today, okay, this isn't talk. It's not just looking at a chart. These are trades. All of these were live trades. Okay, you're going to see exactly how he gets there, why it keeps happening, and how he's doing it again and again. And after this, okay, too late, okay, won't be in your vocabulary, which is one of the coolest things. It's like, oh, by the time you actually read any of those headlines, it's too late. You're gonna lose that from your vocabulary. The trader, he's built something extraordinary. Okay, that lets him see what institutions can't, the signal before the story. Okay. You're going to see how this brand new pro grade tech locates these hidden signals in seconds. And again, you're going to see for the first time today, there is a professional grade technology that's actually going to sniff this out in seconds without being chained to charts. Okay. Call him the guy who sees tomorrow, stories today. Obviously, we're talking about Gianni DiPoce. I actually hunted down Gianni, okay, to join TheoTrade. His track record's been outstanding, not only since he's been at TheoTrade, even before TheoTrade. We've actually got some friends in common and have had some friends in common for a lot of years. You're going to see today his insights into certain stocks, okay, has absolutely exploded, second to none. And his approach to trading is by no means, okay, ordinary traders can target 100% plus account growth this year and every year. Okay. Real members, real results. Gianni, my account, okay, has seen sizable gains this year. I've not only had this much success before a trader, or I've not had this much success before in trading. It comes from David Blevins, so who may actually be even joining us today. Johnny, you helped me make a small 35K account into 92,000. Okay. Let me introduce Gianni DiPoce. Without further ado, I want to actually introduce Gianni, who is not only a breakout specialist at TheoTrade, 14 years of investing and trading experience, exited financial service industry in January of 2020. He is very much known as a systems builder, which is exactly what you're going to see today. I love the retired farmer and outdoorsman. Okay, that's what he does. Okay, on the side, what do? You trade. And I guess you're a little bit of like a farmer out there. Okay. I don't want to hear about the crops. Not today. So we actually we kind of know each other through Benzinga. We have some friends. I knew the founder of Benzinga really, really well, and that's kind of like our history. The other history together we have is my wife happens to be from the Detroit area. No, a ton of the same people. So all right, Gianni. Okay, I am going to turn it over to you. Let fly. Let's actually see a little bit of the unseen, if you will.
Great. Thanks, Don, and welcome everybody. I'm Gianni DiPoce. It's great to be with you all today. And before we get started, I do want to wish all of our veterans in attendance today a very happy Veterans Day. And thank you so much for all the sacrifices that you have offered us over the years. I grew up in an area where there was a lot of military servicemen, brother-in-law, Army vet, so it's something very close to my heart. So now we can start talking about the signal before the story. How it always starts, okay? If you ever feel like you're getting left behind in this market and every story that you see has you feeling like you got left behind, well, that's going to change today. So no noise, no headlines. I'm going to show you charts that look like they're doing nothing until something underneath the surface starts to move. So I'm going to show you what those things are and why it could change everything you think you know about trading. So let's start off by taking a look at advanced micro devices. When the news broke, it was everywhere. OpenAI signed a multi-billion-dollar chip deal with advanced micro devices. Headlines lit up. Retail flooded in. But by then, the move was largely already over. Everybody saw the story, but I saw the signal ahead of time. So here's a chart of AMD going into that big OpenAI headline. Nothing really happening here. No buzz, just another chart moving sideways. Nothing here says, hey, a 389% trade is about to happen. If you were looking at this, you'd think, yeah, nothing was about to happen. Now, while the chart looked quiet, a deeper current started to move. Slowly at first, but unmistakably. Something was building underneath the noise. And I've learned to listen over the years when that starts to happen. Then another signal came alive. Different time frame, different direction. And when these forces start to sync, momentum doesn't whisper, it's starting to build. And that's the exact moment I wait for. When all three of these layers lock together, it's not noise, it's structure. And that alignment is what triggers the ignition. Once this alignment hits, once I see it, price didn't just rise, it erupted. What everyone else was calling news was simply the market catching up to what I had already seen. So we went long. 165 strike November 2020, November 21 calls in AMD. And in just a few short days, here's the exact trade. Sold on the surge, 389% gain captured before the story ever broke. This is what ahead of the story looks like in real time. Okay. So every big move basically starts the same way. The story always comes after the signal. You just have to know where to look. And that's what this system is built to reveal. Okay. Let's take a look at another one, Tesla. Tesla's name was recently back in the headlines, a quiet breakthrough that sent analysts scrambling and the headline spinning. By the time the media called it the next great move, well, guess what? It was pretty much already over. That's the story they saw, but I'm going to show you what I was able to see first. So once again, here's another chart in Tesla. This is what it looked like before the buzz. Flat, range bound, forgettable, the kind of setup that most traders will scroll right past. No noise, no excitement, just calm, right before the ignition. But deep under the surface, strength started to press upward. It was barely visible at first, unless you knew where to look. Because subtle shifts like this, they don't stay quiet for long. Momentum then began to echo across another time frame. It was still early, still invisible to most eyes. But when that echo repeats, it's not coincidence, it's convergence. Okay, so it was building up, building up. And once all the forces pointed the same way, it wasn't a matter of if it would move, it was only a matter of when. And this is what the alignment looks like. This is the moment I wait for. Do you see all of these lines starting to rise? All these green? Green means go. Remember that. I'm going to show you more and more of these. Green means go. So this is what led me to buy this call option right on cue. Tesla ripped higher. And not after the news, not after the breakout. The signal came first. And the story followed. the story followed. So we got 350 strike calls in Tesla, entry before the buzz, exit into the breakout, 155% gain captured. Once again, proof that seeing the alignment first means that we acted before the world caught up. Okay? Proactive, not reactive. Big difference. So every move here is following the same rhythm. Okay? The alignment always comes first. The story always comes after the signal. And when you can see it early, you stop chasing, you start leading. That's what you need to do in this business. Let's take a look at another stock, another headline that everyone was reacting to. Hut 8 made headlines. Analysts rushed to upgrade their targets, calling it a surprise leap. Oh, Bitcoin was hot again. Everyone's chasing the same move. But like always, by the time it hit the wires, it was old news to me. So here's an example of that chart. Same chart, same type of setup, no story, just another stock drifting sideways, boring. If you didn't know what to look for, you'd think this was dead money. But deep inside the price action, early strength started showing. It was quiet, it was consistent, and most importantly, it was deliberate. There was no news at the time, no catalyst, just that first flicker of alignment that began to form. Then another rhythm appeared, the same direction, the same momentum, and that's what I started getting ready. Because when multiple timelines start to agree, the move is starting to load. Then we had those 3 layers of market motion that clicked into place right here. Okay? The alignment was perfect. This is the moment I wait for, when quiet pressure becomes energy ready to break. So the ignition once again hit. We took on the trade in Hut 8. Price shot higher and headlines tried to catch up. This wasn't luck. This was alignment. Caught early, executed perfectly. Here are the trade results, entry before the story, an exit into the surge, 132% gain captured clean. While everyone else was reacting, I was already out. That's what seeing the story, seeing the move before the story, seeing the signal before the story really looks like. So I hope by now you are starting to see what I'm showing you. There is this same hidden rhythm that keeps showing up underneath the surface. It's locked in, it's an easy to see alignment, and it appears again and again before every major move. So yes, there are different stocks, but it's the same pattern. Okay? Let's take a look at another stock where there was a move that everyone woke up to. The story broke after the fact once again. Arkit Quantum shines bright intact. Analysts upgraded it, retail piled in, but the move was already done. Everyone saw the story. I saw the signal. So here's what Arkit looked like before anyone cared. Nothing special, right? Just a quiet chart drifting around, along sideways. No news, no big volume, nothing to suggest a 103% move was brewing. But this is where the signal always begins, when nobody is looking. So this is where it starts. You start to see the green wave rise. Green means go, the long-term current. It doesn't scream. It hums, subtle, steady, and early. When that first current turns, it means the deeper tide has shifted. Then came the midterm rhythm, lining up with the current below it. That's when I know the energy is starting to sink. When 2 forces start to agree, it's no longer random. It's worth paying attention to. And then it all clicked. We had the 3 layers, long-term, midterm, and short-term, locked perfectly in phase. That's the ignition point. And from that moment, it's not a question of if, but a question of only when. And that's exactly what we did. The alignment was locked in. We bought shares of ARQQ and it launched 103% higher. By the time the media noticed, the move was already over. And that's what seeing before the story really means. And yes, we actually did sell that top tick there. Very nice. So here's the trade. Entry before the ignition, exit into the surge. Real setup, real execution, real results, 103% profit captured before the world even knew what happened. And yes, this is one of those trades where, you put the entry in and the broker breaks it up into like a few different small parts. That's the day and age in which we live. So you're seeing it now. The alignment, the ignition, the story. It all starts the same way. Different ticker symbol, same signal. So let's go even deeper into what this signal actually is and how you can be the first to see it. Let's take a look at Astera Labs next. Okay. Big AI stock in the chip space. By the time the headlines hit, the ignition was long over. It looks like another random AI pop. Analysts started to explain it after the fact again, as if it all made sense in hindsight. Well, that's no good for you. But this wasn't luck. Once again, it was structure. So this is the moment that a lot of traders just skip right past. No drama, no surge. This is where I live. This is where I live. This is where I make it happen. The story doesn't start at the top. It starts here, buried in silence. You'll notice the long-term current shifting once again. And this is, as I've showed you before, where I first start to pay attention. When that base turns green, it means go. It's the first whisper. Then we have the midterm strength that starts to agree with the long term. That's confirmation number 2. It's like two separate tides sinking together. You can feel the build before you see the breakout. And then here we go. This is it. The three forces, short, mid, and long, all locked up perfectly in phase. It's the same pattern you've seen before, that every time it happens, it's new money in motion. And then the price launched. Bought right here, sold half of the position for a 62% gain, and then we closed out the rest for a 101% gain. But more importantly, when the ignition fired, that's where the signal was first. The headlines came after. Every single time, it's the same pattern. It's the same pattern. Different name, same story, same pattern. And as you're seeing, it's no prediction. It's signals. There's no emotion, just the signal doing its work. There's the Astera stamp. Okay. So you're seeing this hidden structure repeat over and over. And what would you do if you could see it too? What if you could track when these forces start to align in real time? So now that you've seen it, let's begin to unpack exactly what this is. D-Wave Quantum, another one. These were the headlines. The move didn't start in October, guys. It started well before. It started weeks earlier when strength began to align in silence. So here's another stock that was pretty much asleep. It wasn't doing much. It was flat. It was forgettable. No news, no buzz. But underneath, something was starting to stir. And it was picked up. We picked it up. This was the foundation rise, the long term, the market's under the surface energy. When it turned, it was like pressure building up under the crust before an eruption. Okay. Then you start to see it when the midterm rhythm locked in with the long term, starting to pay attention. Now you have two layers pushing in the same direction. Momentum is starting to sink once again. And then the final signal we were waiting for. It was the short-term wave. It was complete. Once again, the three forces aligned. Here you have the signal. This was the ignition point that always comes before the story. So this is another stock where I split the trade in two. Did a partial exit at 61% and then did the full close at 104%. There was no guessing here. Just the alignment doing what it always does, turning quiet setups into loud headlines. And we executed precisely on this signal. No after the fact storytelling, just real trades, real timing, real gains. And this is the same pattern that repeats across every ticker symbol that you've seen today. Again and again, the same quiet alignment, this the same green surge that builds before every major move. So you've seen these results. Now it's time to start decoding the signal. What is this signal actually measuring, however? And why does it appear before every breakout? And how can it keep doing this across totally different stocks? What is this green force? So I'm going to walk you through a final example, not just to show that it works, but to show you why it works. So let's go ahead and pull back the curtain now, and you'll understand how this can be tracked, measured, and even automated so you never miss it again. You'll always see the signal before the story. That's when it matters to you, not after the fact. And you'll see what this green really means. And this is how ordinary traders are able to target 100% plus returns year after year by using this very efficient and simple technique, the signal before the story. So here we have another stock in the headline. Tech stock, quantum stock surges 70% in a month. Most people saw the story after the move, but I saw it building layer by layer, weeks earlier. So this was a stock at first glance. Once again, nothing standing out, no hype, no significant volume activity, no breakout, but this is where the hidden structure starts to form. Here, once again, you have the bottom layer representing the long-term tide, a blend of long-term institutional indicators that helps me track deep money movement. It's slow, but it's powerful, and when it shifts, it sets the stage. Then we add on the midterm wave. And when this starts to agree with the tide, we pay attention. I use this midterm institutional wave indicator to see this conviction in the stock building. You can almost feel the liquidity beginning to press in one direction. So very important. And then the final ripple locks in. The short-term ripple aligns with both of the deeper layers. Okay? Call it like the tide, the wave, and the ripple. Okay? Now I'm excited because the short-term institutional ripple indicators are showing me that now is the time to get into the trade. Why? Because you've got synchronization across all different time frames. The tide, the wave, and the ripple are all moving together. And this is when the ignition happens. You see how the move doesn't happen when they're not aligned? And then when they're all aligned together, it starts to rip higher. So when you have the alignment, that's the ignition point. That's when you start to take action. That's when you take the trade. This is the moment I wait for. The full alignment. One layer is not enough. That's not going to cut it. Two are better, still not good enough. But when all three agree, that's when I know that liftoff is about to happen. And here is that IonQ trade. So, here we are, multiple examples, different stocks, same pattern, same story. The signal came before, the headlines followed. So I've showed you these three distinct hidden forces, and when they line up, a stock goes onto the launch pad. But what if you could see this live in real time across every stock in the market? That updates instantly and automatically highlights new alignments the moment they form. Well, now you can, when you understand the Trinity alignment. So,
Yeah, I love it. You know what? I actually I was just
oh,
looking
okay.
back. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump back like two slides over here because I
Yeah.
was totally into this. The INQ was absolutely huge. Somebody was asking like win losses over here. I mean, these are actual, the trade executions. In fact, everything that Gianni today was actually showing was live trade executions. And I think a lot of people obviously here at Theo Trade specifically had traded with you. So before we share everything with you, quick question for everybody here. All right, here's the big question for you. You guys know what this is? Okay, yeah, it says it right here. It's a Bloomberg terminal. And a lot of people aren't really familiar. Maybe some of you guys are familiar with the Bloomberg terminal. Look, I spent a long time in the brokerage side of the world, and I spent a huge amount of time like laughing about these things. It's the most powerful financial system ever built, the Bloomberg terminal, and it's completely and utterly backward looking. For those of you that do not know this, there's over now 325,000 active users worldwide on Bloomberg terminals. Every single terminal is $30,000 a year. The best deal that I've ever heard at a major financial institution, which by the way happens to be Goldman Sachs. I think that they're paying like 18,000 a year, but it's basically $30,000 a year. It's roughly $10 billion a year. And it's for access to completely and utterly backward looking data. Here's the catch. Everything on the screen is reactive. It tells you, okay, what's already happened. By the time the story breaks, I mean, like literally the Bloomberg machines never made sense. By the time the story breaks, the move's over. When we were building Thinkorswim, this thing was banned, absolutely banned. Okay. Gianni wanted to flip the script. Okay. He didn't want to see what happened. He wanted to see what's about to happen, to catch the signal before the story without needing, to watch hundreds of charts all day, the alignment the hard way, which is exactly the kind of work that he's been doing day in and day out and year out. Everything has been done to this point manually, okay? Because let's get real. Manually tracking these alignments over hundreds of stocks takes major know-how. Like somebody was like, oh, there was like a false breakout over here, okay, and massive time commitment. Of course it would, okay? Or at least it used to. And that's actually the kicker here, okay? Johnny set out to automate it, okay? The goal, to locate the hidden signals in seconds without being chained to charts, okay? So alongside our TheoTrade team, we took this, okay, and retail trading, all right, he built and engineered institutional grade technology so he never miss that kind of move again, right? He pioneered something no trader had ever seen before. He imagined a system that actually tracked the alignment, the tides, the waves, the ripples across every stock in the market instantly. Okay, shown to him in ignition was building. Okay, every indicator had to be incredibly precise on this. Okay, we've spent months testing, months refining, layering the data, refining the math. Okay, total clarity, no clutter, no noise, just truth. Okay, and we're there. The alignment came together. Gianni could see everything he actually imagined, every stock, every tide, every wave, every ripple, one screen, total visibility. Okay, and here it is. There's a Trinity terminal. Okay, and today we are now finally kind of unveiling a completely new way to see strength forming before it actually hits the headlines. Okay, it's a forward-looking terminal. It's a forward-looking terminal. Okay, no other system is built, okay, in that respect. You can pull up headlines, you can pull up everything after the fact. No other system here is sitting there, looking as a forward terminal like this. Okay, Bloomberg shows you the story after it's written. Trinity shows you the signal before it starts. Backward-looking reactive information, forward-looking predictive insight. Okay, but it gets better. The terminal, okay, doesn't just show alignment. It's actually going to find it for you. And we're going to show you this in just a moment. It scans the entire market, automatically detecting alignment, okay, as they begin to form and calculating which ones have the power to ignite. Every setup, okay, every setup is actually scored automatically. So each potential move gets a Trinity score. So obviously you have to have forces in alignment, okay? So how good is that particular alignment? A precision weighted ranking that tells you instantly which alignment have the highest probability of launching. You don't have to sit there and analyze necessarily and do the guesswork, okay, of like looking like this arrow, is it perfectly lined to this arrow? The score does it for you, okay? It's the ultimate done for you advantage. Just open the terminal, see the scores, trade the best setups, okay? Due to the advantages in signal detection. And that's where there's been a lot of heavy lifting, okay, on the technology side. That's where there's been a huge, in fact, amount of heavy lifting on our side. Okay, it's 100% account growth, okay, per year from systematic signal detection. That is the bold target, okay, that Gianni and we at TheoTrade are looking for out of the Trinity terminal. So especially, okay, if you're an ordinary trader, since the Trinity terminal, okay, does that heavy lifting for you. And that's critical. And again, I'm just showing you a little bit of a screenshot. We'll take you a little deeper though. For the first time ever, Okay. We're actually going to allow 50 traders on the charter access. Okay. It's the exact same technology Gianni is obviously using. Gianni helped build the system. We built it at the back end, but it's Gianni's system actually built literally into a ranking, if you will. So you can catch the explosive alignments for yourself across every stock in real time. So there's no scanning, okay? It's not scanning. It's no chart hunting. It's not heavy lifting. And I want to make that very, very clear. It's not, this consistent idea of like a scanner, okay? The terminal, okay, is going to feed you a stream of pre-qualified trades. And it's actually going to rank all of those. The ones are already like aligning for that liftoff. And it's exactly what Gianni would look for. It's like having a Gianni, if you will, watching every stock in the market for you, round the clock in here. So it's now Gianni plus the Trinity terminal. Okay. And for here at TheoTrade, it's a new era of trading. So charter members are stepping into never before seen technology. Okay. It's a view of the marketplace, seeing alignment before the story, and it's striking, before that breakout kind of move. So I'm going to introduce you, of course, okay, to the new and now massively upgraded flagship service. This is Trinity Trade Alerts. Now, some people might be familiar with Trinity Trade Alerts. So you're going to get Trinity Trade Alerts today, which is Gianni's selection. Okay. But we're not stopping there. Now you're going to get the Trinity terminal, okay, included for charter members. It's a 50-seat beta test. We are now at TheoTrade breaking ground into the technology side of things where we're literally automating it. So strictly limited time offer. It's got the Trinity terminal is going to be sold separately for $5,000. Okay. And it's worth every single penny. Right now, okay, it's a chance to actually put these pieces together. So it's Trinity Alerts with the terminal. Okay. Again, without the hefty price tag, okay, during this brief beta window. So let me show everything that's involved over here, take everybody kind of through it. So first of all, what's brand new, okay, specifically today is the Trinity terminal. And it's a forward-looking trading console that's going to visually track, okay, real-time alignment of institutional, tides, waves, and ripples. That's exactly the setup that Gianni was just taking you through a moment ago. Spot the signal before the story. And, I love that terminology, spot the signal before the story, because many of you don't maybe know this, but Gianni is not only trading his own account. Okay, we have a joint account too. I get to see everything that Gianni does. In fact, Gianni, I don't. People are like, oh, they get like offended when I like bring up accounts over here. Yeah, there it is. Okay, it's not half bad. Year to date, you're up $85,000 in the account that we're joint. By the way, I don't let them use. There was $250,000 in there. I don't even let them use the entire 250,000. So, when we're talking about like 100% returns, okay, hey, people, look, okay, I haven't let them use the full, like there's $333,000 in this account right now, of which Gianni's responsible for probably 80 of the 85,000 in there. Okay. I'll admit I have done like 2 or 3 small trades in here. Okay. But this is, it doesn't get any more real than that. Okay. And I just wanted to bring that, okay, and those setups are now being brought into the Trinity terminal. So I get to see everything that Gianni does, every single trade. And by the way, Gianni, sometimes I'm actually live and you're trading in the account. I'm like, who the hell would have thought to buy IonQ? And like literally like 3-4 days later, that thing exploded to the upside. And I'm giving you guys that because even I said, who the hell would buy IonQ? That is the one that pushed me over the freaking edge. That one I was just like, you got to be kidding me. And he caught it. And it was a huge, absolutely huge return. So the Trinity terminal is directly responsible for that one. Again, spot the signal, okay, before the story. The next thing on here is a masterclass. So the Trinity Trade Masterclass, it's coming when? Live November 19th. Okay. You have a limited time, obviously, to get in between now and then. It's 3 p.m. Eastern time. Obviously, all of this is going to be recorded. I'll go into more detail. That's a $3,000 value. Then we have Trinity Alerts. Look, we're giving you the Trinity terminal, which is exactly what Gianni is using. It's like your own Gianni, if you will. We built you into a server, Gianni. If anything happens to him, we're going to be okay. Anyway, he's also giving you, though, the Trinity Alerts. Okay. And in the past, that's what, people were here for. That's what they were like, oh, 52 alerts over the coming year. So not only can you use exactly the trades that Gianni's doing because he's shooting the alerts out to you, but you've also got the same terminal that he has now. He's got the exact same technology he's using to be able to find those. Okay. Then we've actually got, by the way, again, 52 alerts. Okay. Done by email, push, I should say text notification out there. It's $2,400 value. Then we do the Trinity Trade coaching calls. Okay. And these come kind of sequentially. And the Trinity Trade has its own room. Okay. He's actually going to host those coaching calls there. Real money. There is a $100,000 Trinity Trade portfolio. Now that one Gianni holds himself. So Gianni trades in his own account. He also trades in a joint account with me. You're going to track and manage for the long term. Nobody here, I want to make this very, very clear. No one here has to have $100,000 in your account. Okay. We are not just trading portfolios for the hell of trading portfolios. I want to make that clear. Trading portfolios, okay, for ourselves. Okay. So everything that we're doing here and everything that we're saying here, this is our capital. I mean, again, one thing that we take pretty seriously here at TheoTrade, I go no holds barred. You get to see every freaking account, okay, every dollar I've made or lost. Everything's real positions. Yes, this is tasty trade. Yeah, I trade on some think or swim as well. It is what it is, but I cannot stress this enough. Okay. Everything is accountability here. Everything is accountability here. So it's a real money portfolio. You don't have to have 100 grand in there. You can pick and choose, select a couple of trades. As I was saying a moment ago, and I've got $250,000 in an account for Gianni and I to kind of trade together in that account. We're not using the entire thing though. Okay. Again, I just wanted to feel out like it's weird for me to have somebody else trading the account. Pretty comfortable with Gianni because he hit like INQ, which that's what he saw coming. That one again, it pushed me over the edge. Quarterly forecast. This is a strategic quarterly coaching event. Weekly video updates. So this is videos that are recorded, okay, on a weekly basis about the positions that you guys are in. The Trinity, okay, option alerts. Here's the actual killer and the super lotto monthly option trade alerts. Okay. This is where, as I said, you guys don't have to have a big account. This is where Gianni, okay, takes some shots, like moon shots, if you will, with a couple of trades. And the one he hit on Tesla recently was freaking huge. He hit on Tesla, one that was absolutely huge. I mean, to the point where even I was like, you might want to get out of this.
Yeah.
So it was a big trade. Like I don't often get involved. Okay, there was enough capital that he had made in there that I was like, okay, can we get out now, please? Like and that was actually one of the super lotto monthly option trade alerts. So I'll go through it all in just a second, but I do want to bring you guys over to this page. If you will, we'll post the link in here. It's theotrade.com/Trinity. Okay. Again, it's theotrade.com/Trinity. As you actually scroll to the bottom of this page over here. By the way, somebody's talking about the account. Yeah, I show everything in the account. You're welcome to actually take a look. Every P&L. We actually have portfolios, so you can see every single trade that's actually been done in there. When you guys are going through and you're actually doing checkout, okay, put a valid email address in. Please put a valid email address in. I cannot stress that enough. The validity of the email address, because that's where we're actually sending the alerts to. You have a selection on here. Okay, this is 3-year. Okay, and that 3-year, the entire 3 years you're in there, you will have access, okay, to not only the Trinity alerts, but you will also have access to the Trinity terminal, okay? Literally for 3 years, you'll have access to the Trinity terminal. It's $3,000, okay? Or you can select a 1-year, okay, for $2,000. Obviously, we provide 18 months free, okay, for a 3-year, access to the Trinity terminal at this point and alerts over there. All right. I'm going to go into a little bit more detail. Again, this is theotrade.com/Trinity. I do believe we actually popped the link into the chat room. We're going to take some questions inside the room as well. All right, onward. Okay. Trinity terminal. It's a forward looking, okay, spots institutional tide, wave, ripple alignment across, okay, every stock before the crowd. This is unto itself the value, okay, of everything you're, enrolling for today. You're like, oh, I had to plunk down 2,000. You had to plunk down $2,000. You got access, okay, to the exact same trading tool that he's using now. And there's no more, okay, shopping around here. There's not, it's like one of the things that I'm very, very critical of, okay, and I continue to be critical of. It's not of technical analysis. One thing I'm critical of is people are going to see whatever they want on this chart. They're going to see things aligned that aren't necessarily there. Okay. This is like literally ranking for you. Okay. This is aligned. Okay. This is the highest rank as the highest probability of the breakout at that point in time. Okay. And again, it's done for you. There's not going to be guesswork of is that Trinity alignment actually there? And a huge portion of what, okay, is going to be taught at the upcoming class, November 19th, is going to be surrounding this technology over here. So this is the Trinity terminal done for you. It does the work for you. Real-time scans, early alignment detection, and a weighted Trinity score. You open the screen, see the top names, okay, no guesswork, no clutter, a lot of clarity in there. Okay, and this is a beta access to it. Okay, so Trinity alerts, join it now. Get access, no extra charge for the first 50 members. So we're going to let 50 people in on the, obviously, on the Trinity alerts. Okay, real members, real results. Hey, Gianni, today's trade just paid for my new driveway. It's a weird thing. There's a lot of things I want, like a driveway wasn't high on the list over there. That comes from Harry. Okay, the Trinity Masterclass. Okay, so this is a closed door session, and that basically means November 19th, 3 p.m. Okay, this is going to be a very small group. Johnny's actually going to host exclusive Trinity Trade Masterclass. As I said, this masterclass though is going to heavily surround, okay, what is being done on the terminal. So just explanation of what's behind it, because somebody was asking a moment ago. Um, they were asking a moment ago, like, is it a proprietary kind of indicator? I mean, is it proprietary in the fact that it's Gianni's? Yes, but he's going to show you everything that's in it. I mean, literally, he's going to crack it wide open. At that point, like, again, as I said, like, I'm not sure. Do you call that proprietary at that point, Gianni?
Well, there's the Trinity score, which drives all the Trinity terminal results. So yeah, it's all around that Trinity score.
Yeah, I mean, it's by the way, somebody was having a problem with the link, so let's make sure I get you the right link in there. Um, yeah, it's theotrade.com/Trinity. I'm seeing the link work. Okay, I'm gonna make sure it absolutely does work. So come in here, copy it, and I'm actually gonna paste that back in the room. Make sure somebody gets the exact link in there. That is important to me. Okay. All right. So in the Trinity Masterclass, okay, it's going to be deep. How many hours are you actually going to spend? It's 3 p.m. Eastern time. You're going to spend 2, 3 hours minimum in there, or even
Yeah,
longer.
around 2 hours or so. Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. All right. It's going to have again all the alignment. Okay, real trades are, obviously. So the market's going to be closed over there using just some of the examples that you've done, or are you actually going to be looking at more up and coming trades?
Both. The both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. So, I mean, yeah, these are some of the trades that are, by the way, the trades in AMD, Tesla, INQ are not just recent, they're very recent. Like these are, just closed. Okay. And he's actually going to show you some of the signals for, the crowd actually started to hit this. You'll see the math, the logic, the timing, okay, and the precision involved in it. So this isn't going to be a watch me trade. It's going to be a pretty, powerful session over here. So again, a big portion though of this masterclass, which I think is going to differentiate, it's not just about, okay, Gianni feeding you trades from here on out. It's going to be about you and your capacity to also use the Trinity terminal. Okay, you'll see it, you'll know it. Okay, you'll be able to act confidently and actually in control on these positions. All right. Uh, so again, real members, real results. I'll gladly add the first-hand accounts of trading with Gianni. I'm up over 40% on the year. Be disciplined, okay, and follow the system. It absolutely works. That comes from Ken L. And again, a couple of these individuals are right here inside of the chat room right now. Somebody said, I'll get the questions in a moment. Okay. Thank you so much, Gianni. Account keeps making new highs. That's Mark S. Okay. All right. Next, Trinity alerts here. 52 alerts in 12 months, one every week. Are you averaging one a week, or do you kind of stagnate and like all of a sudden do two or three? Or do you actually just typically go after like one alert a week?
Yeah, I try to send out at least one a week, but there's some weeks like this week we've sent out three already. So
Cool.
they come. You're gonna get at least 52, but there's gonna be usually more.
All right. So each one of these setups is live, pulled straight from Johnny's Trinity terminal. One of the aspects you guys have to understand. Okay, when an alert is sent, let's be very clear. Okay, the alert is sent, Gianni's trading it. Okay, the alert is sent, Gianni's trading it. So everything that we do here at TheoTrade, and I'm stressing this again, is skin in the game. Nothing is, without an execution behind it. I am, again, one of the co-founders. I'm adamant about that. I don't want anybody that doesn't, walk the walk. If he's not willing to put capital forth, okay, then don't do it. In fact, Gianni's here long enough now at TheoTrade, as I said, he has his own account and he's trading his own account, but we opened up a joint account with him because I like it. It's actually it's a great conversation also when Gianni and I are kind of trading and doing some of the. It's crazy that once in a while we have some of the same ideas. A lot of the time though, I'm pretty surprised. I'm like, why would you buy that stock? And the thing explodes the next couple of days. When it hits, he's going to tell you exactly okay what he's doing. So all the alerts have explanations behind them, okay, real time. All right, precise, ready to trade setups. So every email notification, okay, the alerts, by the way, say email notification, it actually does come out via a text in here. You're going to see the stock, the timing, and why Gianni's taking it. Also, some option trades in there, okay, all of it. And it's full disclosure on it. It's the closest thing to trading, literally, by sitting with him. So, yep, my TOS account IRA has at least doubled, if not tripled. Okay. Weekly coaching calls. So are you really going live twice a week? Okay, right
Yeah,
now?
yeah,
That's
twice a week,
crazy,
Tuesdays and
man.
Thursdays we go live. Yeah.
So Tuesdays and Thursdays, again, that's it's a lot. So this is continual kind of updates twice a week. Okay. And then, by the way, I sound surprised by that because like that's a lot. It's a
Yeah.
lot to actually keep up on. Ask questions, share your screen, workshop your trades. So some of you guys are actually going to have because you're going to have the Trinity terminal for the first time. That's why we're kind of limiting the number of people in here. You're going to have the Trinity terminal. You're going to have on possibly trades that he doesn't have on. It's going to be awesome. You're going to be able to bounce ideas off one another here. And by the way, all of this is recorded. So 100% of what we do here at TheoTrade is recorded. It's in the can. Again, real-time market clarity. They're going to be diving into what's forming, what's fading, okay, where the next Trinity alignments are building. Okay, you'll know what Gianni's watching, why he's watching it, okay, and how he actually plans to trade it in plain. Okay, this is all about execution, meaning that everything Gianni's going to be talking about at these coaching sessions is about you having the capacity to be able to execute upon these trades. Okay, you're also going to get personal market mentor. So here's also an aspect of this. Yes, there's coaching and so forth, but you also have email access. So with that, okay, each call that you've got the clarity and confidence, you can ask questions in the chat room. If that's not enough, you can always email Gianni on the side. Again, real members, real results. I cannot tell you, okay, how my trading has improved now that I'm trading with Gianni, okay, and learning his techniques. My portfolio is doing so well. He's extremely intelligent about the market along with giving you his ideas. He also teaches you how to look for good charts and coaches you through the process. I could not be happier. Thank you, Gianni. Comes from Dawn. All right. Real money. It's a $100,000 portfolio. As I said and continue to say, get in the game, people. I don't care about this crap. Like people like I saw somebody actually in the chat room. We back tested this. Okay. Been trading live for years. Okay, he's been trading live for years, and the Trinity, alerts have been around now for a considerable period of time. And I'm just going to be very forthright in saying, okay, back testing has its place, but it's not going to be heavily weighted here at TheoTrade. Everything that you do here at TheoTrade, it's about skin in the game. I don't give a crap what your little value says there. Okay, I've been in this business now for 27 years. Okay, and it's put up or shut up. You either trade or out. Okay, that's how it works here at TheoTrade. These are real results. He manages $100,000 live. He's also got a $250,000 portfolio, and that isn't even his capital. Okay, that is our capital here at TheoTrade. So we actually manage some capital as a group, and Gianni is primary, manager of, again, a $250,000 account. So we feel pretty strongly about that. um, you're going to see the exact Trinity method. Okay. Members are going to learn this. Okay. You're going to see all the decisions in real time. So I don't want you to think again, anything's paper trade. This is about execution, and that's critically important. Real capital. And again, it's important that everybody here has skin in the game. So everything is transparent, time stamped executions, meaning that there's nothing. I was actually going back when I first kicked this off. I was going back and I was showing you his execution in there because to me, like that's all that matters. I know people want to look at charts and they want to look at, pretty like pictures and so forth. All that matters to me, okay, is that exact execution time, the entries, the exit, the risk plan, shared as he execute. There's no hindsight, no cherry picking. Everything is time-stamped activity. That's what's so critical about a real-time portfolio. So you're shadowing a pro, and build some conviction out there. You get the same setups. Okay, all of it is actually there, and it's accountability. I mean, part of this, like why we do like live trading, nothing keeps you more accountable. Like, show your portfolio every day in front of 1,000 people and tell me how accountable you're going to be, because everybody gets to see everything all the time. You're not blind, like blindly following some guru. Okay, we've got the positions on in that portfolio. Here's another one. Hell yeah, G. Okay, my TOS account might catch up to my 401k that I do not manage. I'm amazed at this is the Trinity Trade portfolio. Seriously, account up 156% since the first quarter sell off. Okay, and that comes from Mark S. And that's actually referencing, obviously, this year. That is referencing this year. Then we come to the quarterly forecasting huddle. Okay, the next 90 days. Okay, before the crowd. So each quarter, Gianni's actually going to host a strategic forecast. There's a huge amount of time and effort put into this. Okay, it is clarity on direction, cut the noise. Okay, lock on to the bigger currents, focus on the game plan. It's basically game planning the next quarter ahead. Okay, every one of you, okay, in the Trinity Trade alerts with the Trinity terminal will, of course, be invited to these quarterly forecasting huddles. Okay, weekly video updates. So 15 minutes or less. It's everything he's got on. It's what's important. Okay, and then what's obviously coming over here. Actionable briefings. Each briefing covers new Trinity alignments that are forming. So setups on the verge of ignition. Okay, quick hits on what's fading, forming. Okay, or breaking into the story, meaning like, some of the stocks that are actually starting to hit upon that. You're always going to be in the loop. So this video is designed to keep you in the loop. Okay, clear current fact. Okay, it's like a private debrief every week. No filler, no noise, just signal before the story. And that is obviously the goal over here. Okay, all right, there's even more. Okay, the Super Lotto monthly option trades. All right, if that's not enough for you guys, on top of the Trinity alerts, okay, I actually like this. Super small risk, whopping, towering upside. I've seen him hit a couple of these, and I'm like, holy crap. The one on Tesla, again, that one, usually it doesn't set me off. That one kind of set me off a little bit. Okay. Johnny once a month is going to handpick a super lotto. Okay. And what this is, it's small dollar. Okay. Defined risk. It's an option play. You just go out there, buy a call or whatever. Okay. It's built for explosive outside, gains. That's the entire design of it. It's asymmetric by design. It's a very small amount of risk to open the door to some, absolutely massive gains over there. If it fizzles, okay, it is what it is. Again, you got to realize there's a reason they call it super lotto. So he's taken absolute shots, okay, with profitability is already basically banked. This is, again, signal first, okay, step by step. Johnny only nominates a super lotto, okay, when Trinity alignment is tightening, okay? So some of the best Trinity alignments are actually going to go to the super lotto trade, which is, again, this options trade, okay? As I said, it's precision moonshots. Bottom line, okay, is they are moonshots rooted in the signal before the story. They don't come all that often. When they do, okay, they can actually make your entire year. This is where, again, we've had some of the biggest returns on a year-to-date basis, okay? That's the best trade I've ever made in my life. I love this. And that's the AMD one, which I also was like, what the hell are you doing? Okay. In fact, I think that was my exact, like I turned and, we talk on the side and what the hell are you doing in the account over there? He bought a call in like AMD and I'm like, there's just no way. Okay. There was a way. That was an absolutely huge trade. Here's one. I started a new $10,000 account January 1st, 2025 for trading Trinity trades. It's up 38.94% this year. And that includes the big pullback at the beginning of the year. Okay. I still have a few shares of one stock, okay, App Lovin, that we bought in August of 24. It's up 611%. That comes from Shirley Quick. Okay. Pretty wild. All right. Trinity options alerts. Okay. With every Trinity alert, you'll also get an options trade for the same setup. So this is where I was saying you don't necessarily have to have this massive account. You can go after the stock or take the leveraged options trade. Okay. For the bigger upside, it's completely up to you. Depends on liquidity, depends on your account size. Okay. I cannot emphasize enough how incredible your recommendations have been for me. Okay. I don't get to join in on your live sessions on a regular basis, but I try to catch up on your sessions after hours. Thanks for your incredible recommendations and analysis. Comes from Eddie G. I'm pretty sure Eddie's actually in the room right now, too. Okay. So this is everything. Again, everything that you get over here. The new Trinity terminal, okay, is the most critical portion, obviously, of today. We've talked about Trinity in the past. You know, what's new is what has to be new. I mean, look, right now, Trinity makes money. The bottom line is Trinity makes money. And I'm showing you literal accounts in here a moment ago. But what's changed here, okay, and what's definitive today, there's 50 spots open for a beta test of the Trinity terminal. Okay. And what that basically does is just takes a Gianni, puts it into a box, and ranks it. You're actually going to get some of the top trades, okay, and literally see it, you know, before the crowd kind of sees it. So obviously, the Trinity terminal is a big portion of today's session. And I stress to you, you know, the cost over here, the Trinity terminal alone, okay, is worth the price of admission. You're still going to get a class. You're still going to get Gianni's alerts. You're still going to get the coaching sessions, okay, and there's going to be constant. And by the way, I'm telling you right now, constant updates to the Trinity terminal. You were in like generation one. You know, this is like, you know, the iPhone originally came out and they had to release, you know, iOS. Okay. And it was iOS, like the very first version. Okay. You're in, you're into it. And this is, you know, kind of the calm before the storm because there's a lot more crap we're going to be building into the Trinity terminal. So Trinity terminal, the live masterclass with November 19th is actually going to be the date of that. Obviously, people, okay, you're a week out from the class. Get in, get comfortable. Okay, understand a little bit of, you know, the Gianni lingo before that. So Trinity alerts, there's 52 alerts over the coming year. Trinity coaching calls, it's twice a week. Real money, $100,000 portfolio you get to follow. There's a quarterly forecast call. There's weekly update videos in 15 minutes. Everything you need to know. Okay, all recorded, all clean. It's perfect for you. Okay, then we actually have the Trinity option alerts. So the Trinity option alerts, quite simply, some people don't want to trade stocks. Some people have a $5,000 or $10,000 account. I get it. That's the option alert side of things. Then there's the Super Lotto monthly option, you know, trades, which is, by the way, the Super Lotto. The irony is people like salivate for that. It's like the low probability thing that people salivate for. Like I personally, I like the moonshots. Okay, I'm into it. Okay, and I am into it. By the way, I want to read off a couple of names as you're enrolling today. It takes me about 5 to 7 minutes before I see your enrollment. Okay. I'm just going to let everybody know I do see you. You are enrolled. Okay. And you should receive username, password, it almost immediately there. Okay. Um, Jeffrey M. from California, Mimi Y. from Michigan, John C. from North Carolina, Craig W. from Michigan, Harish K. from California, Pearl R. from Maryland, Bruce M. from Connecticut, Paul M. from California. That's just the first batch of names. And thank you guys as you're enrolling. Okay, Robert P. from Alabama, just saw your name actually populated in here. This is also the first time I'm mentioning this today. Okay, with everything. Okay, that we would do here at TheoTrade. There's a 30-day money back guarantee. Okay. Put Gianni through the test though. Okay. Look, trades, there's always going to be ups, there's always going to be downs. It's not about winners or losers. It's how big the winners are and how he actually cuts his losers. You know, people always ask that question in here too. The win-loss rate. Who cares? And I know that sounds crazy, but you know, if he had 6 losers, okay, and a winner that made like 400%, okay, This is about skin in the game. This is about making money. This isn't about being right or wrong. Okay. We're not here to be right or wrong. We're here to actually make money. And that is what this is designed for. 30-day money back guarantee. If you're not satisfied in the next 30 days, just email us. Okay. There's no stipulations to the money back guarantee. I don't want there to be stipulations to the money back guarantee. We're not here to take anybody's, $3,000. We want people, and I always say this, we want people that want to be here at TheoTrade. We don't want anybody that's upset, that doesn't, like feel comfortable with it. Look, there's no excuses, no questions. I will say this, okay? When people do like, oh, I want my money back. Okay. I'm always curious. Like I tell the guys, like, ask them why they want their money back over here. I know sometimes like life gets in the way. Okay. And I say no excuses, no questions. There's probably a few questions because I want to know. Okay. But just email us and it's okay. Just email us. Like this is not like a gym membership where you got to show up and give blood to be able to get out. Like you don't have to give any blood to get out of here. Like I get it. But in all seriousness, the 30-day money back guarantee, okay, is to make you comfortable with this. But as I said, like I want people that want to trade. I want people that want to be here. And Gianni is a completely different style from my own. And I appreciate that. I don't, when I look at some of the stuff, it's not the world I live in. Okay. There's a lot of different ways to be able to make money in this business. There's a lot of different ways to be able to make money in this business. This is one of them. Okay. And that I feel strongly about. And how could I feel otherwise? Okay. Look, as I said to you guys, my money in this account. Okay. I'll pull up the account again. It's my money in this account. How can I feel otherwise? As I said, there's a lot of different ways to be able to make money in this marketplace. And Gianni's outpacing me this year. Okay. The year ain't over, kid. The year ain't over. So the day is young. Okay. But you know what? I don't feel that pressure. One of the reasons I fund an account, okay, for other people is literally, it's not to put myself in head-to-head competition. Okay. It's literally, I'm like, this is the greatest hedge ever. If I underperform and he outperforms, I'm like, what a great hedge, and it really has been. So we put the 30-day money back guarantee up here. Okay. Because I want everybody to be able to at least kind of experience it. And if you're, one of the 50 that get into it and check it out, you love it, fantastic. Look, we want people, as I said, that want to be here. Okay. All right. Real members, real results. Thanks to Gianni, I'm learning so much here. Okay. And the part of reason for becoming a lifetime member so I can stay on the right side of the marketplace comes from Rio. Okay. Extra bonus. I've already mentioned this. There's unlimited email mentoring. So throughout the course of your time here at TheoTrade, we are adamant. All of us here at TheoTrade, we answer emails. That's what we do. Okay. So we trade, we sit in front of our screens and answer emails throughout the course of the day or at night. I mean, Johnny, your kids are still relatively young. Put them to bed on the iPad answering emails. Okay. I'm actually
How it
glad I'm
goes.
past those days. You know what? My kids now are like teenagers. They put me to bed. They're like, you're done
I look
answering
forward to
emails,
that. I
Dad.
look forward to
Yeah.
that. They can tuck me in.
No, they're starting to drive now. Don't say that. Don't say that for the love of God. It's crazy now. So there's unlimited email mentoring. You need us, you email us. It's okay. Like we're here. That's what we do. You got questions, you don't like one of the positions. We want to hear about it. Okay. And with all due respect, you can ask trade related questions. And I'm saying that to you because you can ask trade related questions. I know, like if you call up Charles Schwab right now, the slogan used to be ask Chuck. Okay. Chuck don't want to talk to you no more. Nobody even talks to you anymore. There's no broker that even picks up the phone. And if they do, they put some 23-year-old kid on the phone. Doesn't know a damn thing. Email us, get in the room, talk to us. Okay. That's what we're here for. And it's like, I'm just really adamant about that. I want people to be comfortable. Okay. I want people to understand the 30-day money back guarantee is so that you are comfortable. Okay. The email mentoring is so that you get anything answered. Okay. You're not happy. We want to know. You're not comfortable in a position. We want to know. You want to learn how to position size a little better? Email us. That's what we're here for. Okay. Don't miss out. Ordinary traders, okay, will step into this and immediately target 100% plus account growth this year and every year. I mean, that is what Gianni's after, 100% plus account growth this year and every year. Okay. There are 50 beta spots available. Okay. That is specifically because of me. Okay, the 50 beta spots over here. Look, the Trinity terminal is new. You're on, like, as I said, like iOS version 1. It will continue to expand. Okay, with that, we will eventually break this terminal away. Okay, meaning that the terminal itself, the technology, be its own, its own product, live on its own here at TheoTrade. So there's 50 beta spots available. Act now. Okay, claim charter access, get alerts. The terminal is included. Again, the terminal is included. Sign up for, a year, it's included. Sign up for 3 years. That terminal is included right now. See the signal first. All right, answering a couple of questions. So the one thing that I'm pretty adamant about, we try to provide you everything you're going to need to be able to trade. That's important. Okay. We try to literally support you in every way, shape, or form. And I always say, all you need is a laptop. You don't need a laptop. Just bring a damn phone. Okay. There's not a trade that you can't do off of a mobile device anymore. Like literally, there's not a single trade that you can't do off a mobile device. This is not a membership. Okay. We don't auto renew. You get weekly alerts, video updates. You can follow all the moves we make. And there's a real portfolio with 100 grand in it. By the way, a couple of more names just came in. Tony J from Georgia, Wim H from Netherlands, Gary S from California, John A from Colorado. Just reading off a couple of names that are actually coming through here um, as I do this. And again, I'm looking on my own phone right now as uh, all right. So we're not a membership. We don't auto renew. Again, weekly video updates, follow all the moves we make. $100,000 portfolio. Okay. John, you want to talk a little bit like to that? They can take a look, see what's in your portfolio at any given point in time.
Yeah, I mean, we have the portfolio tab within the chat room that we have here for the Trinity Alert. So you'll always see what the plan is for each stock in the portfolio, what percent weighting we're giving to a certain setup, what the target is, what the stop loss is. So the whole plan is laid out in front of you and consistently updated on a regular basis. So you always know where
Yeah,
we stand in the portfolio. Yeah.
I just wanted to make that kind of detail known, where we talk about this $100,000 portfolio, but when we're talking about skin in the game, people want to like look at exactly what's in it and crack it open and play with it. The portfolio is in front of you. The portfolio, all the trade executions are right in front of you, so you guys have access to all of it. You will have access to the Trinity Trade room. That's where the portfolio is found. That's where all the sessions are going to happen involving Trinity Trade. Okay. You can use any broker to enter Trinity trades. By the way, any broker, I sometimes talk about Tasty Trade and I sometimes talk about, Thinkorswim. And I can tell you right now, though, you can do this in Fidelity. I'm not going to make fun of Fidelity right now, Gianni. I
Oh,
really
come
want
on.
to,
Go
though.
ahead. Give your
Okay.
best
I,
shot.
I really, really want to. Okay. Fidelity. Oh, man, it just kills me. Fidelity is good if you want like CDs and stuff. But in all seriousness, you can do this in any brokerage firm. It's fine. Okay. Again, any broker. And in fact, this is Jackie's like, I use Fidelity. Okay. You go. All right. You know what? Now you can use any broker because this is a lot of stock and very basic option trades. It's like what they would term like level one, level two option trades. That's it. There's not going to be anything, crazy, no butterflies, no, boxes and jelly rolls, none of the crack crap. Okay. You buy a call, you buy a put. And that's why you can use any broker. You can use retirement accounts. Okay. Your IRA. Some of you actually have self-directed 401ks. This works in self-directed 401ks as well. That's one thing I don't get to very, often mention. I tried a lot of options. When you tried a lot of options, you can do it in an IRA, but you can't do it like in a self-directed 401k. Here, specifically with Trinity Trades, you absolutely can do this in a self-directed 401k. If you're not familiar with that, okay, you should look into it. Some people have, hundreds of thousands of dollars, literally hundreds of thousands of dollars in a 401k, and they just throw it into a mutual fund. You get a selection of 6 funds. Here, you can actually take a portion of your capital and do a self-directed. Most of your 401k plans actually have that. Okay. Sometimes they're egregiously expensive in commissions, which makes no sense, but you can absolutely do that. Again, you can email us anytime, receive a response within 24 hours, including trade related questions. And of course, as I reiterate again, there are 50 beta spots available today. There's a couple of reasons. Number one, okay, technology is relatively new. We actually have limited server capacity right now for it. the more people that obviously get on it, okay, the more expensive we're actually going to have to go. So for those of you that understand a little bit about technology, okay, this is not run like an Amazon cloud. This is all run, okay, on crap that's, it's ours, meaning that it's our server capacity, in there. So there's 50 spots initially available here. Get results, take action, enroll for Trinity Trade now. There's absolutely no risk to you. We're going to be here for a couple of minutes answering questions. I want to thank Gianni actually for tuning in today and kind of taking us through and little about the Trinity trade. Okay, I'll scroll back to the top of this over here. If you guys need anything along the way, okay, do not hesitate to reach out. Do not hesitate, okay, to call us. The number I'm going to post numbers in the chat room right now. There are some people that are just simply not comfortable, okay, and enrolling, if you will, online. So you can call 623-244-5657. Okay. Again, it's theotrade.com/Trinity. You need us, you feel free to call us. Okay. You can hit us in the chat room right now. On behalf of myself, Gianni, everybody here at TheoTrade, thank you guys very much for joining this afternoon. And have a wonderful afternoon. And for those of you that are veterans out there, thank you so much for your service. Bye bye, everybody.